Wilson.
Hello everyone, I'm CamDog74. My main role is that I make things happen, not only as the project director but also as the coder man, like this cube. Today, in our first ever development log, we'll be talking about two main projects, Project Sandpit and Project Choice. Project Sandpit is our sandbox game that we're working on. It's an FPS RTS hybrid that takes inspiration from Garry's Mod, People Playground and Arma. We worked on Sandpit for a little over a month before we decided to shift our focus to our other project, Project Choice, and we're not really going to talk about Sandpit much today since it's not our priority. We'll probably mention it from time to time though. Project Choice is a first-person choice-based game. It's very early on, but we're going to talk about it the most today. The way the project started is I set up a basic character who you can control, and I made a simple use system that allows you to interact with systems that have the use script on them. But my biggest goal for the project was to make a set of tools and systems that allowed designers to create gameplay without needing to code anything. This would make general development a lot easier since basically anyone could be working on game logic and testing spur-of-the-moment ideas within minutes. After I found an easy-to-use Node framework, I read up on the documentation and I spent 2 weeks making this goal a reality. I had countless issues and it took days and there were so many bugs I could feel God judging me being half asleep and making the worst code. But nonetheless, I made it to where the system is today, the Wilson Node system. I made a few test scenes along the way that made use of new features that I was working on at the time. Like here's the first scene I ever made, which was inspired by RatJam.
You silly fool. I know how much you humans love your switches.
Here's a noir-esque scene about choices and endings.
I woke up in a random room. On the floor. With no idea how I got there.
There's also a fun little secret ending that Alex helped me make, but you'll see that a little bit in his segment.
Behind the door lay the bedroom.
And last but definitely not least, we made One Night at Flurbles. One Night at Flurbles is the most complicated thing we've done with the Node system by far. It has custom controls, basic AI, and our first UI tests in it. Obviously it was based off Five Nights at Freddy's. I decided it would be a great remake to do since it's pretty simple. We managed to make a simple yet scary and fun experience with it. After One Night at Flurbles was playable, we built the game and it was pretty amazing. It just felt like a regular game, it didn't feel like any nodes were driving it. That had meant we had finally achieved a node system that makes gameplay, and that is awesome. And next up, we have Alex. He's going to talk about his time working on Project Sandpit and Project Choice.
Hey, I'm Mixler3D. I'm a 3D artist, among other things. And I work mostly on the more technical parts of 3D art, setting up models for animation and animating them. I used to also make most of the 3D assets, but Pixel... yeah, I ain't keeping up with that. I did, however, make a lot of animations for a previous put-on-hold project. It was really draining, and a lot of them were pretty bad. So, anyway, since Pixel stole my job, I've been filling in my time by playing working on materials, level design, and learning Cameron's node system they made for us. With the materials, I actually generated images with DALL-E, and with some touch-up, managed to make some pretty decent materials. Man, it's only a matter of time before AI fully replaces us all. In previous projects, Cameron was responsible for pretty much everything in Engine. I'd just model and animate things, send him the files, and he'd do all the work setting them up. But since RatJam, I've made an effort to try and learn Unity, and with Cam's node system, I've actually been able to do some basic visual coding and make logic for the levels. It's been really fun, just learning the nodes and being able to see the results so quickly. It's really good for trying out different ideas, however, my brain is spherical, so it has been a challenge, but slowly it's coming together.
This shit bussin'.
Next up, we have Pixel, and she's going to talk about what she did on both the projects.
Hey everyone, I'm Pixel, one of the artists of Team Wilson. I focus on concept art, illustrations, and 2D and 3D art. I'll be doing a quick rundown on how I do game assets. So, real quick, I use Fire Alpaca and Clit Studio Paint for drawing and editing. And I use Blender for all 3D artwork as well as Substance Designer for texturing. One of the funnest processes for me is concept art. I use a carefree method for this step and I just paint or sketch without thinking. Sometimes I get results like this, or this. When I get a design I like, I'll move it over to my other screen and open up Blender. First off, delete the default cube and replace it with a circle. We're gonna lower the segments and press Alt F to fill in without adding Ngons. Ngons, terrifying. Rendering programs are terrible at figuring out what to do with polygons with more than 4 points. Luckily there's an easy fix, but I'll get into that later. For now, using a reference imported with the images as plain Zadot, we're going to extrude this circle up in edit mode and make it roughly shaped. We're going to add a divot up the top and in the bottom, and finally we're going to add the texture. I want to add the tab in the hole since we can emulate this using textures. Now for the fun part! We're going to go onto a free texture website like Pexels to download a can texture. I'm going to quickly run this through a normal map generator, and once that's done I'll make a texture atlas, basically adding all the textures into one image. Finally I can open up Blender, go into the shading workspace and add our image, and yeah, it looks awful. We can go into the UV editing workspace and press U project from view. Once that's done, I'll move this here, and I'll go into the side view, select the side faces and press U, Smart UV project. Align it like so. And bam! It's as easy as that! Now, before we export, we can go into the modifiers tab and add a triangulate modifier to triangulate every polygon. This will prevent Ngons and might even optimize the mesh. If your asset is too high poly, you could even add a decimate modifier, but it may make the model look worse. And that's all for my part. Thanks for listening. Hello everybody, and welcome to the first ever segment of Pixel News. Your first contact for great information about the Team Wilson server and its members. On today's news, Steve Harrington, well-known moderator, has been seen posting in Don't Be This. This is the 4th time this minute the moderator has been seen posting random nonsense in this sacred chat. Sad news for Pixel fans, that's all of you. The Pixel Power Pack has been delayed. This comes as a surprise after the creator originally announced its release in under a month. News came out about the Power Pack's creator confirming that they know nothing about code and was forcing Aspat and Richard to do most of the work. In other news, staff applications are still open and rumors are there isn't an exact date for when they'll close. People are still encouraged to put in their applications and wait patiently for more news. And now on to user news. Madara, a well-known voice chat celebrity, is expected to reach over 500 hours in the VC. This is an amazing milestone as he has surpassed most members in just a few weeks. And we also have some amazing artwork by Fape Zone. Please share more artwork and you could get featured on next time's user news. And finally we have breaking news. Rumors of a new cult in Team Wilson have spread as more and more members report seeing suspicious activities. Well, not much is known about it at the moment. It may be something to look into. Finally, popular modder and well-known artist Pixel has failed to be credited in the SPA 102 canon mod. While not much is known about the current situation, a court battle may be pursued as Pixel has been spotted with the iconic lawyer, Gambit. We'll bring updates on that and more in the next installment of Pixel News.
Bruh.
Next up, we have John, Stephen, Blair, Tiffany with an I, Typhony, the Typhon from the game Prey, Morgan female, CJ, Big Okay, that's enough.
Okay, so while I was doing what I was doing, I actually figured out in my head exactly how to make the perfect physical dong.
Oh man, well worked on this new grab system. Alright, let's see how this works. What the fuck? Alright, let's try this again. Please fucking work this time. Alright, what the fuck? Alright, please, for the love of God, work. Oh. 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 It's working. Can finally have me some soda!
Wilson.